Hello everyone and welcome to another Top 5 Records video and the start of a new discography series. Starting today, I'm gonna do a weekly review of one of the albums of David Bowie. I'm gonna do all his albums, I'm going to try to include even some of the unreleased albums, and I'm going to do the live albums as well. So it's gonna be a lot of David Bowie, but I'm very excited because David Bowie is my big hero. When I first saw his videos and listened to his music when I was 14 years old, it's 20 years ago, I've been listening non-stop to him, and he has so many faces and albums which are inspiring. So that's good to know with kicking off this list. But there was always one album which I kept away from, and that is the first video. This album, David Bowie's 1967 debut album. Now, I had not listened to this album in its entirety until yesterday. I ordered a 2010 mono and stereo edition. They made a beautiful release. They say it's from the original master tapes, and it sounds pretty good. First of all, this is the only album I had to buy for this series, because all the other albums I already have on vinyl, because I'm a massive Bowie fan, but nevertheless I kept away from this album. Why? I do own the 1968 compilation album The World of David Bowie, or at least one of these Deram years compilations. And when I was very young, I bought a DVD called Love You Till Tuesday, which had some of these songs on there. And they just didn't grab my attention. But, I thought listening to a copy of his album coming from the master tapes, I was mostly frightened that this album would have the soul of The Laughing Gnome. I'm not sure if you people know about The Laughing Gnome. It's not included on here, so I thought this album's gonna be different. But The Laughing Gnome has a refrain which goes like, ha ha ho, hee hee hee, I'm a laughing gnome and you can't catch me. And the rest of it is a dialogue between David Bowie and a gnome. So I thought this is gonna be, if it's like that, it's gonna be a children album. But that song is excluded, so these are all Bowie compositions, this album. What are we gonna get? So I put this on in mono. I listened to the mono version. All the good reviews are about the mono one. So I thought, let's give it a shot. And what this album taught me is that David Bowie was not born a genius, to say the least. I'm gonna try to remain a bit objective. Yet I'm a Bowie fan, so he is inspired by music hall. This album is a mixture of British music hall songs and traditional pop. Looking at the picture, I thought he might just be doing some Beatles inspired stuff, and though he has been listening to Revolver during the recording of this album, this does not come close to what the Beatles were doing. It's just crap. Sorry, I can't make anything better out of it. This is not a good album. And I was afraid it might not be a good album because he was 19 years old and might have been uninterested because the style and the artistic choice he made. But it's not that. As a matter of fact, you can hear that he's very ambitious. There is some I want to say interesting orchestration. No, there is orchestration going on. He tries his best on the vocals, but nothing is authentic, genuine, and it's very clear that David Bowie did not find his sound or his soul on this album. You might even consider that Bowie was constantly struggling to find it, but in the struggling, he always remained genuine and interesting. That's not the case on this album. I have seriously nothing positive left to say apart from you hear him trying. You hear ambition. But If you take a look at late 60s influences of traditional pop, there is also a beautiful album by Tiny Tim. God bless Tiny Tim. That does work. That does work. There are old, typical living room influences there, you know, a bit traditional 50s, 40s or 50s influences on that album. They are here. But Tiny Tim makes some work. Tiny Tim does everything better on that album than what David Bowie's trying here. And this is... Seriously, I'm a Bowie fan. This is not worth the purchase. So that is my review of the 1967 David Bowie debut album. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Leave a comment below and I'll see you in my next video in which I'm going to be reviewing David Bowie, also known as Space Oddity. Bye.